Hello out there. It's week 10 of the NFL season, which means it's week 10 of the MCC season, which means it's the week 10 edition of the MCC News. I'm your host, five-time MCC champion, Alan Morrow. Now, before we get to it, let's just a quick shout out of today's episode sponsor, Buddy's Pizza, Detroit Original. We're so grateful for them. Remember, when you order from Buddy's Pizza, you're never eating alone, you're eating with a buddy. All right. With that down, let's get to it. The Week 9 rerun. Week 9 is in the books. So here we go. High points. Doug is the second person to win high points for a second time this season, with Will being the first one. Doug won it with 130.94 points. Like I said, that as long as that Ravens offense is moving along in the NFL, Doug's offense is going to move along in the MCC. Low points again. Familiar face, Jeremy. Jeremy was tied with Ben and James with all two apiece in low points. He now jumps ahead of them with his third low points of the season. Closest matchup, Alan, myself, beat Gabe by 5.4. This came down to a Monday Night Football with Patrick Mahomes and Xavier Worthy. Needed about, 32 points. Patrick Mahomes put up 28 points on him all by himself. And Xavier Worthy, I believe, ended up with negative points. So lucky for me, really close call there. Biggest blowout. Adam with the biggest blowout for the second straight week. This time over Jeremy, last week over James. So Adam's really coming along, a couple straight wins for him, big wins for him. So congratulations on him. And then with that, if I had a different schedule, Gabe would have beaten 8 other teams with his one score of 123.9. Like I said, the close matchup lost to me. I had about 129.3 points on that. So tough luck to Gabe there. But better luck next week. Matchups of the week. We have 3 matchups of the week this week, and they all have a common theme. We got Will versus Tyra, Jeremy versus Jim, and Adam versus Schrader. Now, Will, Jeremy, and Adam are all 3-6, while Schrader, Jim, and Tyra are all 5-4. Currently, the sixth and final playoff spot in our league is on a team that's 4-5 game. So Will, Jeremy, and Adam are only one game out of the playoffs currently right now. But if all 3 of them to win, they're guaranteed to still be one game out of the playoffs, because Tyra, Jim, and Schrader would all only have 5 wins still, and they would have 4. They don't win, perhaps maybe they become sellers. We have a trade deadline in just under a week here, Wednesday next week, 8 p.m. I believe. Wednesday, 8 p.m. next week. So there's a lot on the line. If they all 3 win and every team's have 4 or 5 wins, and there's still a 1 or 2 playoff spots available, there might not be any sellers. Every team may be as is, move there. With that, there was a trade today between myself and Schrader. I traded him Lad McConkey that I got from Jeremy a week or 2 ago to Schrader for Brock Purdy. There was also a late pick swap in there too. I got a 9th round pick. Schrader got an 11th round pick. So it's another small trade. And like I said, no big blockbusters and everything yet on this season. But here we go. It's a make or break week for Will, Jeremy, and Adam. Let's see how this shapes out. All right, this time, average points for. Now, Sleeper gives us a couple statistics that I don't normally pay that much attention to, but points for. Doug leads the league with 121.32 points for per week. Then Gabe is second with 114.14, and Lee also is third with 114.02. Doug, Gabe, and Lee, the top 3, are all in playoff spots currently. The other 3 playoff spots are currently held by 6, 7, and 8 in points for per game. Schrader with 110, Tyra 105, Jim 104. As you see, Adam, myself, and Will are all 4, 5, and 6 out of the playoffs with a chance to move. Our team's performing, our teams are putting up points. We're just not catching a lot of big breaks. As you see, Doug by far leads everybody with a 7-point difference between him and Gabe and Lee. And then with that, between Gabe to Schrader, basically everybody is within 4 points per game. So every game's up for grabs. And it's not until Tyra at number 8 who drops about 5 under Schrader. And then, Ben is the only lame duck scoring 94, only one averaging under 100 points. So tough there for Ben. Now with that, the Sleeper also gives us the category of accuracy of starters. Doug, once again, leads this category with 93.1% accuracy. Strangely enough, Jeremy is number 2 at 91.4. The way I'm kind of almost seeing this and taking it, the deeper teams have a less accurate because they have a deeper bench that, just one guy goes off that's sitting on their bench, screws up the accuracy. So the less bench, like Lee at 90.1, Lee's dealt with a lot of injury. He hasn't been able to play the game too much of who do I start, who to start. He kind of gets stuck in it. He has a 90.1% accuracy rate. So very interesting stuff. Once again, Ben in last place with only 81. That's basically because he's never started Cole Kmet when Cole Kmet had good games. So they have it. Take this information in and do with it with what you would. The next, this might be a little harder to see, but Doug, who's number 1 in the standings, number 1 in average points for, and number 1 in accuracy. Go figure. Lee, who's number 2 in the standings, is number 3 in points for and number 4 in accuracy. Makes sense. Schrader, who's number 3 in the league currently, is actually 7 in points for and 6 in accuracy. So there's not some strong correlation there. Tyra, who's 4th in the standings, is 8 in both categories. A couple interesting ones. Gabe, who's 4 and 5. Some good news with Gabe. Even though you're 6th in the standings, you're number 2 in points for and number 5 in accuracy. So like I said, maybe just a couple bad weeks here. If those weeks turned around a little better, you would have been top of the standings. James, who's number 8, is 11 in points for, but number 3 in accuracy. Jeremy, who's in last place currently in the league, is number 10 in points for and number 2 in accuracy. Like I said, take this information, do with it what you will. I send it out to all of you to find some better correlations here. But this is just some interesting that just because you average the most points for, that doesn't necessarily guaranteeing you wins. Like Adam is number 4 in points for, but number 10 in the standings. Will's number 6 in points for, number 11 in the standings. So some very interesting stuff. So now, next segment, Tyra's Fab Thoughts. Here, not big, I think only 7 of them, but there's only 2 with bids. Gasicki went to Ben for, Adam for $30. I assumed it was Ben because it was a high price to pay on a tight end. Only one other bid by Gabe of $0. Justin Herbert was the only other player that had 2 bids. Jeremy won him with $6. I lost on a $2 bid. Rookie Roman Duze, the Jeremy dropped. Schrader picked up for $11. Maybe hope for a second half of the NFL season rookie breakout there. To go with his newly acquired Ladd McConkey. He's really banking on these rookie wide receivers. And Jim grabbed Tyler Lockett and Justin Hills for $0 on Wednesday. And then today, right before, shortly before our MCC News taping, he dropped both of them and picked up Geno Smith. So not much there. Ben is continuing to seek for a tight end. He picked up Johnny Smith for $0 to try to play him this week. So there you go. There you have it. That would be the news today. As always, let's go Lions. Fuck the Texans.